All right, we're back on the ape. I was gonna check how much gas I have left.
I just filled up. I thought I had less gas, but
Not gonna lie, it doesn't look like I have any gas, but my light isn't on.
my
So
light isn't either, but
whatever, we should be fine to get there. Maybe I'll get gas over there if I do need it. But check this out, guys. Quadlock was kind enough to send me some of their amazing locks. I put on the dampener, the vibration dampener and all that, so I don't pretty much ruin my camera. We'll see how I like it. Homeboy's trying to spit game.
Let me go speak game, bro.
Nah.
What, you scared?
I'm scared for you. Alright, let's go. This dude. I ain't watching him spit game. Oh my god. Wait for him until he's done the spitting game. Alright, that was quick. What happened? Oh man, we missed the light. See, if he wasn't spinning game, we would have made the light. Yo, I don't know if this is supposed to vibrate as much. I haven't had a phone mount since I had a ZX6R, so. You got the digits?
He added me on Instagram. I'm like, add me on Instagram.
Alright, he got the Instagram.
Hang on.
See guys, if you guys want to pick up girls, get a Ducati.
I'm good with the helmet on. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I was saying that I never really like use a phone mount because A, I feel like it's a little distracting, and B, I like having like the clear kind of like dash, like they're like sport race bikes, you know. You're not supposed to have like, you know, clutter on them, but what is that? I don't know. But honestly, it is really, really helpful, like navigation and stuff like that. I know where I'm going, but honestly, it's just an excuse for me to use. Yeah, and see how it is. Let's see, what should I film in today's video? Well, we are going to Mali Motorsports. I don't know, we're just gonna hang out, maybe do some sort of like challenge, maybe ride a bike that they have, something like that. But what should I film on the way there? I keep like reaching into my pocket and not finding my phone, and I'm like, where is it? Alright, I guess for today's video, we already did the 5 things I do like about this bike. Let's do the 5 things I don't like about the Aprilia RS4 1100 factory. Alright, starting it off from the start. As you guys know, this bike has had this like starting weird issue that apparently a lot of Aprilias have had before. It's a tunnel. I had to. It's a must. It's an obligation. It's not up to me. It's a motorcycle law. Or any vehicle with exhaust. Yeah, the first thing is pretty much the whole problem issue with like the reliability, like the little starting issue. You guys know I have this like starting issue, which actually happened today when I first did a cold start on it. I've taken it to professionals, I've asked the internet, I've asked you guys, and nobody really gave me like a kind of like a clear answer of why this problem is happening. I have said many times that I've tried so many different things. First things first is that I tried removing the what is it, the valve, the exhaust, I forgot the name. Yeah, it's like the valve that closes and opens the like OEM exhaust. Well, the Acro that comes OEM with this bike. A lot of people said like removing that will solve the issue, so I did that. It helped a little bit, but you know, it didn't really solve it. Then I got an exhaust, which pretty much the same thing, deletes that like kind of like valve thing. After that, people told me to remove my charcoal canister, which I did. As you guys see, there is no charcoal canister on this bike. The exhaust issue, well, the starting issue is still there. I have also tried tuning the bike, and a lot of people said just by tuning the bike you should like solve the issue, and I've done that as well, and the issue is still there. So I've literally tried everything. When I took it for professionals to like take a look at and check, they even told me like, hey, have you like changed the battery and all? And this bike has had like 3 batteries. If you guys haven't seen the original video when I first bought this bike, the bike literally didn't start right when I bought it off the showroom, and I'm like, okay. So they changed the battery right in there for me, and then literally the day after it did it again, and I'm like, okay, it's clearly not a battery issue. I was like, let's try one thing. Let me not put like the same kind of stock battery. Let me just buy a lithium battery and just, you know, install that, because it's a better battery. Holy, it's very windy. I hope it's not like too loud for you guys. Yeah, so try that. Still did not work because it's not really like a battery issue. So that didn't fix the whole startup either, and I don't know what else to try. I was told by Victor that it could be like a valve adjustment type issue, which he recommends doing since the bike has an exhaust and a tune and an air filter and all that at 6,000 miles. So I'm just gonna do a valve adjustment at 6,000 miles and just live with this issue until then, because it's not like a major issue, you know. It's not like the end of the world or anything like that. Like the bike still starts. I've never had it where like it definitely like it wasn't starting at all, you know. Like it always takes a few tries, or like trying it with a little bit of gas, and it usually works. So that's why like I haven't kind of like put too much emphasis on it. But you know, as a new bike, it is kind of like frustrating. You would want your new bike to not have issues. This cat back wanna play or something? You're too slow, man. You're way too slow. We'll bring a 600 or maybe even a 500 for you. So yeah, that's like the first thing that I didn't like about this bike, is that like I've heard the rumors and the stories about the whole reliability thing with the Aprilias. So far, that's the only thing that is like not reliable and has bothered me. Which again, as I've said, isn't anything like very major, so it's not a big deal. But again, the bike is brand new, it has a little over 1,000 miles, so we'll see in the future if the bike is actually reliable or not reliable. But in my opinion, and I know people with Aprilias, they're not really not like unreliable. People just, they're not as common, so people probably don't know how to take care of them properly or something like that, and they blame that on reliability. But again, I like to learn from my own personal experience, so we'll see if that's true or what's true reliability wise with this bike. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the bike is amazing. See, like with every bike it's a give and take. With this bike, they put a lot into like the chassis of the bike, the engine of the bike, and all that stuff, but they kind of missed out on a few other things that I feel like this bike is lacking, and that's gonna be like my next probably couple points that I don't like about this bike. The first things first, when I first got the bike, like I turned off like the wheel control, traction control. I usually like to do that when I get my bike, just to kind of get a feel for them without the electronics. And I did a little wheelie, and I mean, not gonna lie, the bike caught me off guard. I didn't expect it to be that torquey, bone stock, and it came up super high, and I was like, oh, whoa, like I did not expect that at all. So I slammed on my rear brake, and like it slammed me back down, and that caused the front fairing right here, right by the light. There is a gap like right here that literally just broke off. It's like a tab that kind of holds a couple fairings together, and it allows your and it allows for pretty much there's like for there to be no gap between your headlight and your fairing. But now, since like I came down from that wheelie hard, I noticed it right away, because you know it's noticeable. It's like a little line body gap. So yeah, that happened, and it was just frustrating because I'm like, come on, like that's kind of like build quality, you know, like I feel like it should have been more durable or anything like that. Like coming down from one wheelie like a little aggressively shouldn't just break your fairings. Again, not a major issue, but like it did kind of bother me because like I've done a lot of, it's a super sport bike, I've done a lot of aggressive things with most of my bikes, and that's like I've never had such an issue unless I'm personally like working on the bike and replacing parts and I break a tab. That's completely different. So yeah, that's a big thing. Sorry if I'm gonna start like kind of losing my train of thought. It's just a lot of traffic and we need to be in there, but I don't want to kind of like get stuck in there and kind of split lanes yet. There we go. Because we're gonna be splitting lanes anyways, so I didn't want to like start splitting lanes all the way from the back and be stuck between all these cars in this heat. Thank you, sir. So yeah, that's like the other thing that kind of bothered me like right away about this bike, and especially like when you have like new bikes, like stuff like that is kind of annoying because you know you're very happy with your new bike and you usually want to keep it like in good condition and clean and all that, and you have little things like that, like body gaps and stuff like that, and you're like, come on, it's a new bike, like let me have fun with it. And then when I like start abusing it more continuously or like aggressively, then like you'd understand, because you know you've had the bike for a while, you know mess with it a lot, then you kind of get it. But yeah, that's the second thing. The third thing is very similar to it's not similar to the first thing, but as I said, I feel like they really focus on the chassis and the power and to make this like an amazing track bike, which I think as a whole bike together I totally believe in, which also contradicts one of the points where I said like there's 5 things I do like about this bike. And one of the things I like about this bike that I said is electronics. What I meant by that is that like it has all the electronics that you need: traction control, wheel control, slide control. You know, it has the little lean angle right here in the right left corner, or right bottom right corner is what I meant to say. You know, it has all that, and it's cool that you have, you know, all these stuff. But at the same time, in comparison to, for example, like the BMW S1000RR or M1000, because they have similar electronics, or a Panigale V4, or even a Yamaha R1M, I think how the electronics engage and work in the bike are definitely lacking. Like, for example, thank you. Oh. All right, I'm gonna crack my helmet a little bit because it's getting really hot. In comparison to like these other bikes, like for example wheelie control, if I said I have my wheel control at 1, which means the wheel will like still come up, but it's not smooth enough where I can like hammer it and it'll kind of continuously keep me going, because I'm still gonna have to like fight like the wheelie going up and down, which is pretty annoying. Because for example the V4 or the S1000, you can set the wheel control at a certain setting and it's just like a bullet, it goes straight. Now I've tried raising the wheel control to level 2, which allows the wheel only to come up barely, which is great for like racing, roll racing, stuff like that. But it's still like, so the wheel didn't come up as much, which was nice, but I can feel like the bike literally cuts power so hard, like I'm going and the bike like kind of goes back just because of like how hard it cuts the power. It's not like smooth at all. Now I haven't tried the slide control and stuff like that at all, but I know from a friend of mine that races, and he raced Aprilia's, that he told me that the electronics on the R1 that he switched to from the Aprilia are way better than the RSV4 app factory, or the RSV4 in general. He didn't have a factory, but I'm pretty sure they share similar or the same electronics. So, you know, I trust him because I know like he's a really good rider, and as I said, like he races these bikes. And the fact that he said that, you know, the electronics are better on the R1 than the Ape, then I believe him when it comes to that. And judging based on the wheelie control, that kind of gives me a little bit of a sign that I'm like, since this is lacking, I wouldn't doubt it if, you know, the electronics and the other sections like side control and stuff like that are lacking a little bit too. That's kind of like the third thing when I was saying that, like, you know, Aprilia sacrificed a little bit here and there to give you, you know, more power or a bigger engine or, you know, a better chassis. So those are like the three main things that honestly like stuck out to me the most that I do not like about this bike. Now we got two more to come up with, and that's when I get like pretty like picky and, you know, little things that like is all subjective and stuff like that. And one of them is definitely a thing that bothered me and I had to change right away, is the headlights. Like, come on, this is a 2019 model motorcycle. How in the world are you gonna put yellow bulbs in this bike? Let alone, like, it doesn't have LEDs, and I'm like, you know what, whatever, it doesn't have LEDs. And then I turn the bike on, and the bike literally, like, the headlights come on and they're yellow. Like, what generation do you live in, Aprilia? Like, they should come OEM, like, first of all, not as bulbs, but even if they are bulbs, they should be LEDs. And that's literally the first thing I did. It doesn't even take much. Like, I don't know why they didn't do that from the factory. It blows my mind. I literally went to like an AutoZone or any place that has like little LED bulbs, and I opened this right here, took out the yellow one and put in the blue one, well, the LED. It's as simple as that, and it just blows my mind that that didn't come like factory. That's like another thing that bothered me a lot. And the same point, because it doesn't deserve like a whole other point, I still think like for a 2019 model, I mean, look at the R1. Since year 2015, they had the beautiful like running lights, the like LED strips, you know, like super aggressive, super like futuristic, you know, ahead pretty much. V4s caught up with the 2018 model with the whole facelift, and I mean with the whole V4 bike, they completely changed and revamped that bike, and the bike looked like amazing, you know. Now I gotta give it to Aprilia, that did update their stuff in 2020, I believe. Yeah, no, 2021 is when the new kind of like face and body came out. And don't get me wrong, I love these headlights, but they're still not like as aggressive or as nice as I would have liked them to be. They're still like lacking, in my opinion. It's not as aggressive, it's a little round, but you know, it is what it is. They still have amazing like daylights. I think the only reason why I don't like it as much is because it resembles the RS660. They look very similar and pretty much identical face wise, and maybe that's why I'm not a big fan of it, which is similar to the V2. The V2 and the V4 are kind of like that, but I feel like those are completely like like the V2 is at least still a badass bike. It's pretty much like a 750, you know. It's not a slow bike at all. Like, you can get that bike and you can rip around in that thing like no problem, and it has plenty of speed, and it's honestly an amazing like street bike. The RS660 on the other hand is like an underpowered 600. It's like a 500 pretty much, which is like, you know, it's like almost like a beginner bike. Like, that's what I recommend people to get as a beginner bike. It's similar to like the Yamaha R7. It's not intense and aggressive enough like the V2. So that's why I like, when I compare the R660 to the factory, I'm like, yeah, they don't look great, but the V2 and the V2 still looks amazing, you know. And at least also with the V4s, Ducati I guess realized that, and with the 2020 body they changed it to the V4R body, which is the wide body with the fins and the wing and all that stuff. So at least they worked on it. To the last point of the things I don't like about this bike, and I had it in my head, but this whole mess over there kind of got me all over. See, that's kind of why I don't like having this phone, just because it's there and the gloves are not very touch sensitive. I tried using it to, like, you know, give me the maps and all that, but I guess that's also my fault because I did lock it. I could have just kept it, but whatever. That's I'm just like arguing with myself at this point. This bike sounds angry right now. It's like it's hot. What are you doing to me? So yeah, the headlights of this bike, that's a big one that kind of like bothered me. And number 5, come on, I was just thinking about it. Oh, I remembered it, and you guys are probably gonna hear it right now. when the bike takes off, it's much better now that I have an exhaust, because the exhaust kind of like sounds too loud, but it has this little weird like noise that almost sounds like a 300 when it goes off. Like, here, listen. Okay, never mind. You couldn't hear it. It has like a little like it's not even an exhaust noise. It's almost like some sort of like motor or something like that. I don't know, man. I'm not a mechanic. I don't know what that noise is, but I just know that it's kind of annoying. You know, it has a little like kind of mechanical noise when you take off that, I don't know, for me just sounds like a little tacky, almost like a noise that, it reminds me of my Ninja 300. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Woo, it's hot. How are you doing, bro? All right. It's looking nice. I like this. Oh, yeah, I gotta check it out. Looking good over here. Alright, I'm gonna end this video here, and I'll maybe film another video of some sort of kind for you guys, but let me know what you guys think. Again, I'm not hating. I love this bike. I mean, I do have one that I ride all the time, so I can't be hating on it, but you know, it's just a video that I'm making to other people. Is that a super leg? What? Is that a super leg? Look at the color. Whoa, I really like that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please drop a like and subscribe and support, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Also, let me know in the comments if you guys think there is something that you personally don't like about this bike or something like that. But yeah, peace out and ride safe.